Let me ask you something. When was the last time you bit into a slice of pizza and thought, yeah, that was worth it because I've been doing some digging? And what I found genuinely disturbing, these billion-dollar pizza chains, the ones you've been ordering from on autopilot every Friday night, like a well-trained lab rat. Some of them are straight up scamming you, not metaphorically. Literally charging you $18 for something that tastes like a wet cardboard box that someone sneezed cheese powder on. And the worst part? They're counting on you not noticing. Well, not today. Today we're ranking 8 major pizza chains from absolute rock bottom. Like, why does this even exist, rock bottom? All the way up to the one chain that's actually out here respecting the craft. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will never order pizza the same way again. Before we get into it, if you're new here, smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and slap that like button so hard your thumb needs a day off. Let's go. Number 8, Chuck E. Cheese, the cardboard criminal. All right, number 8, dead last, the absolute basement of pizza civilization, Chuck E. Cheese. Now look, I respect the concept. Arcade games, animatronic nightmares, screaming children, birthday chaos. Fine, that's a whole vibe. But the pizza, let me paint you a picture. Imagine taking a piece of cardboard, not fresh cardboard, old cardboard, the kind that's been sitting in a warehouse since 1987. Now spray it with something vaguely tomato adjacent. Throw on some cheese that has the structure and integrity of a wet napkin, and slide it under a heat lamp for approximately forever. That's Chuck E. Cheese pizza. The crust doesn't crunch. It doesn't chew. It just surrenders in your mouth. The cheese dissolves like it's ashamed of itself. And the sauce? Generic, cafeteria grade. The kind of sauce that's never met a real tomato, but has heard stories. And they have the audacity to charge $14 to $18 for a large. That's $2 a slice to feed kids who are too hopped up on arcade tokens to even taste it. Here's the most unhinged part of this whole story. During the pandemic, Chuck E. Cheese started selling their pizza on delivery apps under the name Pasquale's Pizza, a fake Italian name, a disguise. They were so embarrassed by their own product that they put in a trench coat and hoped nobody would notice. That's not a business strategy. That's a confession. Chuck E. Cheese survives because parents are exhausted and kids are distracted. The pizza is not the product. The forgetting is the product. You're paying for your child to not remember what they ate. Mission accomplished, I guess. Number 7, Cici's Pizza, the buffet of broken dreams. The all-you-can-eat buffet concept sounds amazing in theory. Unlimited pizza? Sign me up. Except, and this is crucial, quantity times 0 is still 0. Cici's crust isn't described by actual human beings who voluntarily ate it as an insult to cardboard. Not cardboard itself. An insult to cardboard. Cardboard will be offended by the comparison. The cheese is so thin you can see through it. Like, you're not eating a pizza, you're eating a suggestion of a pizza rumor. The sauce is watered down to the point where you start wondering if someone just waved a tomato over a bucket of water and called it a day. And then there's the heat lamp situation. These pizzas sit out for 20, 30, sometimes 45 minutes before they make it to your plate. By the time you grab a slice, it has gone through all 5 stages of grief and accepted its fate. The buffet costs $8.99 for adults, which sounds like a deal. It is not a deal. It is a trap, because once you've paid, the sunk cost fallacy kicks in, and you keep eating long after your body has filed a formal complaint with your brain. Cici's filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2021. The pizza had been spiritually bankrupt for decades before that. Number 6, Sbarro, the airport hostage situation. Founded in Brooklyn in 1956. Sounds legit, right? Italian roots, New York style, the whole thing. Except somewhere along the way, Sbarro decided their target demographic was people with no other options. Malls, airports, rest stops, food courts. Sbarro plants itself in locations where you are either starving, stranded, or both, and then charges you $4 to $6 for a slice that's been sitting under a heat lamp since this morning. The crust is simultaneously soggy on the bottom and stale on the edges. That's actually impressive in the worst possible way. The cheese has orange oil pools you can literally blot off with a napkin. The sauce is sweet and that mass-produced. We made this in a factory in New Jersey kind of way. Nobody has ever said, "Hey, you know what sound good tonight? Sbarro." Nobody. Not once in human history. Sbarro has filed for bankruptcy twice. Twice. And they're still out here. Still in every airport. Still charging you $5.50 for a slice that tastes like it was made by someone who was told what pizza is but has never actually seen one. Their entire business model is location monopoly. They're not competing on taste. They're competing on geography. You're hungry. They're there. That's the whole pitch. It's not a restaurant. It's a hostage situation with marinara sauce.
Let's be honest, there is a dark side to cheap, greasy pizza, and Sbarro earned a reputation as the fastest way to the nearest restroom in a mall. The crust was cardboard, the cheese was a grease trap, and the baked ziti was the color of regret. In surveys, it consistently ranked among the worst national pizza chains, with critics dubbing it America's least essential restaurant. Ouch. Somehow that hurts more than just being called terrible.
Number 5. Papa Murphy's, the gaslighting chain. Papa Murphy's. And oh boy, this one gets me. Papa Murphy's has somehow convinced an entire customer base that handing you raw, uncooked pizza and making you finish the job at home is not only acceptable, it's a premium experience. Take and bake, they call it. Fresh, artisan, you bake it. Here's what they don't tell you. Professional pizza ovens run at 700 to 900 degrees. Your home oven maxes out at 500. You physically, literally, mathematically cannot replicate what a real pizza oven does. The crust comes out dense and doughy. The cheese doesn't melt the same way. The bottom never gets that crispy char. And when your pizza comes out wrong, that's on you. You baked it. You failed. Papa Murphy's is completely absolved. That is textbook gaslighting. They charge you $9 to $19, hand you raw ingredients, send you home with inadequate equipment, and when the result is mediocre, they shrug and say, "Skill issue." One customer ordered 2 mediums with some sides, and the total hit $50. $50 to cook your own pizza, in your own oven, with your own electricity. Bold strategy, genuinely unhinged. Respect the audacity, zero respect for the pizza. Number 4. Little Caesars, the hot and sad. Look, I have a complicated relationship with Little Caesars. There's something almost beautiful about the original concept. $5, walk in, walk out, hot pizza, no waiting, no thinking, just pizza. That was the deal. That was the whole thing. Except now it's $8 to $9. The quality never improved, and the hot and ready promise has become more of a warm and waiting reality. Those pizzas sit in heated cabinets, slowly transitioning from mediocre to tragic, while they wait for someone desperate enough to take them home. The crust is dry, pancake flat, barely rises. The cheese produces orange grease pools that one reviewer described as squirting when they bit into it. The sauce has been accused by actual customers of being mixed with grease water. I don't know if that's true. I don't want to know if that's true. 27% of respondents in a 2021 poll voted Little Caesars the worst pizza chain. And the most brutal review I found simply said, "The pepperoni was so thin, the pig didn't feel it being shaved." I'm not even mad. That's poetry. Little Caesar survives on convenience, nostalgia, and the very specific energy of a college student at 11 p.m. who needs calories and has $9. That's a real market. That's a valid market. But at $9, this isn't even the value play it used to be. The deal got worse. The pizza stayed the same. Number 3, Domino's, the redemption arc. And here's where things get interesting. In 2010, Domino's did something almost no corporation has ever done. They looked at their own product, admitted it was bad, and fixed it on camera. In a national ad campaign, they literally said, "Our pizza tastes like cardboard and we're sorry." That takes guts. Weird corporate marketing department guts, but guts nonetheless.
It was always around a premise like, what are they doing, and why would they do that, and why would they make that decision? Like Domino's, one time I saw a commercial on Domino's, and it said, our pizza tastes like cardboard. Well, wait. A company's running a commercial. Why would they do that? And they say, well, come back and taste this, come back and try us. Well, they changed the brand promise of the company, and well, what were the results, And I take you inside the boardroom and say, okay, tell me what the conversation was like. Let me see if I have this straight, And the result was, their stock went from 98 cents, I think, to a little over $400. One of the greatest comebacks in history. It's amazing.
That worked.
It did work. It did work. And you know what they did? They told the truth. I mean, that's amazing.
It's amazing how that works.
It's amazing how that works. They tell the truth, they ask for forgiveness, and say, come back and try us again.
The reformulated Domino's is genuinely decent. The hand-stretched crust gets brushed with garlic oil. There's cornmeal on the bottom for a crispy texture. The cheese is properly balanced, not too greasy, not too sparse. The sauce is light and doesn't overpower everything else. Does it blow your mind? No. Is it exciting? Not particularly. But it shows up hot. It tastes like actual pizza. And if you know how to use a coupon, and you should always know how to use a coupon, you can get a large for under $10. They posted 5.3% sales growth in 2024. The pizza tracker is genuinely one of the best pieces of technology in the food industry. They figured out that consistency and efficiency matter just as much as taste. But I do need to add the controversy spreading on social media lately, and that is the Domino's pizza sauce controversy centers around reports that a shipment of pizza sauce concentrate imported into Taiwan tested positive for small traces of ethylene oxide, a chemical used in some food sterilization processes. Taiwan's FDA stopped the shipment before it entered circulation, and no contaminated sauce was confirmed to have reached Domino's restaurants in the United States. Ethylene oxide is classified as a carcinogen in high long-term exposure situations, which is why its use in food processing is controversial and banned for food sterilization in parts of the world like the European Union. In the U.S., trace residues can still appear in certain processed ingredients, especially spices. Many viral social media posts in 2026 incorrectly claimed the U.S. FDA had just discovered carcinogens in Domino's sauce. The actual event happened in Taiwan in 2024 and involved a single intercepted shipment. There has been no U.S. FDA recall. No evidence contaminated sauce reached U.S. stores, and no confirmed illnesses tied to the incident. The controversy spread quickly because it tapped into broader concerns about ultra-processed foods, pesticide residues, ingredient transparency, and fast food manufacturing practices. Presently, Domino's is a reliable friend who's never going to be the most exciting person in the room, but will absolutely show up when you need them and won't let you down. That's underrated. That's actually valuable. Number 2, Papa John's, the garlic butter hostage. Better ingredients, better pizza. That's the slogan. That's the promise. And here's the thing. A court actually ruled that slogan was unprovable puffery. Legally, in an actual courtroom, a judge looked at that tagline and said, that means nothing. And yet, Papa John's is something that creates genuine, irrational, almost cult-like loyalty. That garlic butter dipping sauce. That little tub of liquid gold that comes with every order. Customers will tell you, with complete sincerity, that the garlic butter sauce is the only reason they order, not the pizza, the sauce. The pizza is just a vehicle for the sauce. A $17 garlic butter delivery system. The crust is thick and pillowy and very bread forward. You either love it or you think it's too much. The cheese is generous but greasy. The sauce on the pizza itself is divisive. Some say too sweet, others swear by it. The toppings are actually solid, especially the spicy Italian sausage. But here's the problem. In 2023, Papa John's raised prices to the point where their own CEO admitted they got out in front of where consumers were willing to spend. Translation, they got greedy, sales dropped, and now they're walking it back. You're paying premium prices for pizza that needs a condiment to reach its potential. The garlic butter is doing heavy lifting, but when it all comes together, it works. It genuinely works. Number 1, Marco's Pizza, the real one. And number 1, the chain that actually gives a damn. Marco's Pizza. Founded in 1978 in Toledo, Ohio by Pasquale Pat Gianmarco, an actual Italian immigrant who brought actual Italian technique to an American chain pizza concept. And it shows every single time.
A pizza chain that started locally 40 years ago is marking a milestone with a special honor for its local founder. Pasquale Pat Gianmarco is the founder of Marco's Pizza, and today he got a key to the city.
The dough is made fresh in-store daily, not shipped and frozen, not pre-portioned in a factory. Made fresh daily, then brushed with olive oil and Parmesan before it even sees a topping. The cheese blend is proprietary: mozzarella, Munster, and provolone. 3 cheeses working together, creating something smooth and stretchy and actually flavorful instead of the rubbery, greasy mess you get everywhere else. The sauce comes from a family recipe brought over from Italy. It tastes homemade, not mass-produced, not factory sweet, like someone's grandmother actually cared about what went into it. And the old world pepperoni, it cups when it cooks. Those little crispy, slightly charred pepperoni cups that fill up with flavor and grease in the best possible way, that's technique. That's intention. That's someone who actually thought about what makes pepperoni good. Large pizzas run $12 to $16. Competitive pricing. And the pizza holds together even when it's cold. Not a soggy brick, not a cheese blob, just good pizza that stays good. They were the 5th fastest growing pizza chain, doubling Domino's growth rate. People are finding out. The word is spreading. Marco's is what chain pizza should be. It proves you don't have to choose between convenience and quality. You don't have to accept cardboard crust and plastic cheese just because you're ordering from a chain. Someone out here is doing it right. Here's the bottom line. The pizza chain industry has spent decades training you to accept less, to pay more for worse, to order on autopilot and not ask questions. And most of these chains are counting on that. They're counting on your exhaustion, your convenience addiction, and your nostalgia. But price doesn't mean quality. Expensive doesn't mean good. And the best pizza on this list isn't the most expensive one. It's the one made by someone who actually respected the craft. Vote with your wallet. Try Marco's if you haven't. Use your Domino's coupons. And for the love of everything holy, stop letting Chuck E. Cheese charge you $18 for cardboard with an identity crisis. If this video saved you from at least one bad pizza night, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel more than you know. Subscribe if you're new. We do deep dives like this all the time, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. Hit the notification bell so YouTube actually shows you the videos instead of burying them. And drop a comment below. Which ranking do you think I got completely wrong? Because I know someone out there is furious about the Little Caesars placement, and I want to hear it. The truth is on the table. Order accordingly. Bite back bites. We chew through the nonsense so you don't have